All right, so welcome to today's lesson. The topic of the lesson is creating a basic HTML page. HTML is the underlying programming or text language for the internet. And it stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So all the web pages that you see have in the background this hypertext language. That is a subset of something called SGML, which is was invented long ago, and so it's a standardized way to display information, whether through print media or in this case over the internet. So HTML is a subset of SGML. And the objective of today's lesson is to create a basic web page with one working link and one image, and we must demonstrate that the link works. And how we demonstrate that is we open the created page in the web browser. Everybody knows what a web browser is. Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, those are examples of web browsers. And those web browsers are designed to work with HTML pages. And basically that's how the internet works, is through web browsers. But in the background, HTML is doing all the work. So you know what it stands for. And what HTML is composed of are what are called tags. And tags apply different definitions to different types of text. So it controls how the text appears on the screen in your web browser. So there are different groups of tags. Some are called element tags, and some are called text description or document definition tags. But I'll walk through the various tags that you need to have in your valid web page in order for it to display properly. So the first one is a document type tag, and it is and regarding tags, the convention is to use lowercase, but it's not required. It's just for organizational purposes. HTML is generally written in lowercase. The actual code is. Except for certain instances, like this document definition. So this first tag is called the definition tag. And it's basically declaring that this is an HTML page. And there's a lot of history behind HTML in terms of doc type and version. And what is going on now is HTML5, which does not require, this used to require a version, an HTML version that you were writing in. So it tracked basically variations on these tags is what the versions come down to in different functions. So the second thing that defines this as an HTML tag is an HTML basically element definition. So about tags, there are two types of tags, and there's an opening tag and a closing tag. And all tags are contained within these brackets. So an opening tag does not have anything else except what the tag name is. A closing tag has a slash, a forward slash, before the tag name, which indicates that that's the closing tag. So this HTML tag is the first thing you do And basically, when you're using an editor, a text editor, and that this is a connected point, is that you can use any editor to work with HTML and to edit HTML, as long as the output is not a specific document format, text format, flat text format. So when you create the HTML tag, you create and this is true for other tags as well, is that you create the closing tag when you create the opening tag. And we're not about displaying this page yet, so you don't have to worry that it's not going to appear right, or it's just organizationally it's best to create the closing tag when you create the opening tag. So here we created the second basically item that identifies this as an HTML page. And so the third thing you do is you create what's called the head element, and it also has an opening and a closing tag. So you create the closing tag when you create the opening tag. So here you've got open head and close head. But what a head is information that's basically not displayed to the user, or it's not really relevant to the user. So you would have information in here like data about the document, the dates. You can put all kinds of stuff in here, but it doesn't. The only thing that displays for the user within the head element is our next step, which is called the title. And the title, like it says, is the title of the web page, which does appear in most cases in the browser at the very top of the page. So you create the title element, and then you create the closing title element. So guess what goes between here, between this text, and this is something I've assumed from the start, is that whatever text you want to appear on the page goes between the brackets. So in this case, we'll put a sample title, page title, just so we can remember. So page title goes between the brackets, and title element is between the opening and closing head statements. So the fifth thing, that you define is what's called the body of the page, which exactly as it says, the body is the content of the page. Primarily, everything that's going to display and be read by the end user goes in the body area.